cuts, slips, flooding and wild winds. Cyclone Dovi has caused widespread disruption across New Zealand. In some cases, gale winds topping 150 kilometres an hour.
Hi farm friends, my name's Georgia from Grow My Goodness here in the beautiful Bay of Plenty, New Zealand. Last week New Zealand was hit pretty hard by a cyclone. There was damage all over the country, and today we're going to check out our market garden and see how it stood up to the challenge of last week's wild weather. Let's go. The sunflowers have been a staple for us at the market. They sell really well to our local community, but they didn't stand up so well to the extremely high winds. My mum and dad came out during the storm and tried to stake a few of the sunflowers, and they did manage to save a few, but unfortunately a lot of our sunflowers just ended up flat. The other damage that the storm has done is burnt a lot of the leaves, and we'll see a little bit more of this when we go and check out the other parts of the garden. It's a tough decision to make what to do next with this bed, because there are a few sunflowers here, and this was this week's sunflowers to take to market, but there's just probably not as many as we would have liked to have had at this point. We've started cropping out this bed here, so we need to decide what we're going to do here. We do have some other newer beds of sunflowers which really got flattened as well, but let's go and take a look at how they're doing now. Our other 4 beds of young sunflowers are over here, and the wind came straight up the driveway and it really hammered these sunflowers here. They were pretty much all laying down flat, and after the winds had calmed down a bit, my mum and dad came out and kind of painfully went through and stood up each sunflower, and I'm so pleased that they did, because they seem to be okay. Other than the burnt leaves, I think these sunflowers will survive. The zinnias, which have been another one of our best sellers, have been fried. So there was a few buds here that hadn't opened. We may get a few more, but they were really kind of on their way out. But yeah, virtually all of the flowers in this bed have been destroyed, so we weren't able to take any zinnias to the markets this week, which was a bit of a shame. This zinnia bed over here, which was actually a mistake when we put it in, they haven't really turned out to be tall enough to use for cut flowers. It's just been completely burnt, so this will be coming out. We know that. We're going to try and persevere with these beds for a little bit longer. There's a few buds here which are coming through. We'll probably just go through and deadhead and hope we can get a little bit more out of these zinnia beds here. The peppers are looking pretty good. We only lost about half a dozen peppers. There's a little bit of burn on the leaves. They were all laying down flat, and the day after the storm my dad came out and staked up each pepper individually. Our Florida weave didn't do much to prevent the peppers from laying down, but the winds were so strong. It's not really designed to protect them against cyclones. It's more of just an everyday breeze coming through and help the plants grow up. But they seem to have come right, so I'm really thrilled that the peppers have stood up to the challenge here. The tomatoes are a really sad state at the moment. They have just been completely fried, and every single tomato has been knocked off the plant. So this will all be coming out. There's maybe one tomato here, but it's certainly not worth keeping. We're going to get these plants out and start prepping this bed for the next season. I am pleased, however, that our trellis system has stayed perfectly intact, and our new hooks with the builder's string, none of it has snapped. It's just plants that got beaten in this weather, but the trellis has stayed strong, so that's a positive. The basil, although it did get burnt, it's looking okay, but it will probably end up coming out as we're moving into our next season anyway. But the tomatoes have definitely got to go, and it's the same situation down here. The tomatoes completely fried, no tomatoes left on the plant. A little bit of snapping of the plants as well, where they hadn't quite been wrapped around that next time, so a few snapped plants, and the cucumbers, well, they were on their way out, but they are just looking horrible. So we've got a bit of work ahead of us. Our avocado trees got hammered in the wind. We lost most of our fruit. I'm actually thrilled that the trees are still standing because they were really getting hit hard by the winds. We lost, we hadn't finished picking for our current season, so we lost a lot of our current season fruit. And although there wasn't a huge amount of baby fruit on the tree, it's just one of those years, we did lose most of next season's fruit as well. So the fruit that we're currently picking, we gathered up a lot of that fruit, we put it into a big tub and we took it down to our local market. And we were just giving it away because what can you do? And the rest of this fruit we've kind of been sweeping up into piles. We're going to compost it, and unfortunately with next season's fruit, which is due to start being picked in about 6 months, I don't think we'll be seeing a lot of it this year. Probably the most expensive damage here on the farm is the glass house. We did lose most of the roof here on the glass house that we just finished building. Unfortunately, we did make a mistake. When we had finished putting the glass in, we didn't tighten the roof structure fully, and so the wind blew in and just popped these up, and all of the glass in the roof came smashing down. So there was a few other cracks here and there, and in the other glass house, which was right in the area that was getting the most wind, it stood up really well. We lost one pane of glass and there was a few cracks, but there's a lot of glass to be replaced here, so this is definitely an expensive lesson for us here with the glass house. I suppose the silver lining to this storm is that nothing in this garden is permanent, nothing in this world is permanent. Everything was due to come out anyway as we're flipping these beds over to get ready for the next season, which I have started doing. I've just planted 4 more beds yesterday with the cedar, and we've got 3 over here that I just did last week, and it's just started to rain, which is great. So it's something that as we gain more experience in this industry, we also take away a lot of learning from this. And one of the things that we are learning is that although there's things that we need to do around here to be more prepared for weather events, there's also, sometimes we have to be okay with these weather events. We are at the mercy of Mother Nature herself, and we have to expect things to go wrong. We have to expect to face these kind of challenges and be okay with it and find a way to recover from it and keep moving forwards and be resilient through all of this, just like the garden is. In 6 weeks' time, 10 weeks' time, a year from now, the garden is going to look completely different, and it's just taking it one day at a time to make it happen. Finally, I just want to acknowledge all of the small-scale market gardeners, flower growers and veggie growers from around New Zealand who have been hit really hard by this storm and who are working really hard to try and rebuild their gardens and start over so we can continue to provide fresh, locally grown produce for our local communities. So that's it, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so you can follow my journey. I have got a mountain of work to get on with, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.